We are going up to the top field where all our goats have wintered. They have a shelter up there and all the does stay in with the buck. And this time of year, we bring them on down to the barn so that they can be there for a couple weeks before they kid. We take them up to start hanging out with the buck at the beginning of October. So anytime after the 1st of March is when they're due. Come on, girls, you gotta come down to the barn. Kids are bringing them from the top field on down the driveway so we can go down to the barn. They're going the wrong direction. We can put the leashes on if we need to. Now they know what to do. Come on, girls. So I think you know what to do. Run down to the barn, girls. It is really wet out here. We've gotten a few days of rain and the sun is poking through now, which is nice. We need it to really warm up and get sunny and dry up. Hi, girls. No babies yet. They're due any day now. All right, let me open this up. We'll go in and look at them. This is Claire. She's our grandma goat. We're actually sort of semi-retiring her this year. We're gonna keep breeding her, but she's old and it's hard for her to jump up on the milking stand and all. So we're just gonna let her nurse her babies and hang out with the babies, and we're not gonna actually milk her this year. But we'll keep breeding her for now. Here's Cotton. This is her 2nd year, getting ready to kid. She belongs to one of our kids, one of my sons. Here's one of our kitties. This is Addison. She's Claire's daughter from years ago, and she is our best milker. Both she and Claire have had quadruplets before, so we're hoping for lots of babies, hopefully lots of little does. Hey, Addison. The fields are just starting to green up. There is my garden up there, so y'all can kind of see how stuff is pretty green around the garden. The fields are starting to green up, and we have fields across over there. And then we have 2 fields up here by the barn. This field over here is got permanent goat fencing around it. That's where we wean the babies. Everything else just has electric poly wire, and we train the goats to stay into electric. Here's our barn. One day, hopefully before too long, we plan to add lean-tos on it. But I want to show you our barn. You can see how huge Addison is. All right, I want to show y'all the barn because I want to show you that you can get started pretty easily with goats without having to, you know, put a lot of money into it. And even these barn doors, we did not have those on when we started. We made all the barn doors Dutch doors. So what that means is this upper one here is actually latched from the inside right now, but we've got the bottom one, and there's a little hook so we can open the bottom one back. Oh, don't go in there. Don't go in there. That's for when you're kidding. And then a lot of times what we do is we have the top one opened like we have up here, we have the top barn door open there, and on the side over here we have the top open so that they can have lots of air, but the bottom is still closed, and then if it's cold or the weather's bad or whatever, we can close the whole thing up. So I want to show you this, and I want to also tell you that we didn't even have these stall walls in. This is sawmill wood mostly that my brother and Jay, my husband, milled. We've had for a while. My brother had a sawmill, so they did some milling a while back. Some of this is not. Some of this is bought wood, and then some is sawmill wood. You can probably tell the difference. But when we started, we just had the outside walls. We did not have the ladder to the loft or anything. We just had the outside walls. And we took a cattle panel and we bent it around from right there all the way to right here by the door, I think is where we had it. And so that is how we kept them in. And then I built a milking stand, actually that one right there, with scrap. It was all scrap lumber that we had. And I grew up milking goats, so I had an idea of what I wanted for a milking stand. I had it in my head, so my oldest son and I put that together. And we just milked. We did not have this wall here, and we just milked over here. And we didn't even have doors there yet. So I made a door. That door was scrap lumber from when we had done a roofing project on the house. It was a tin roof, and we had the leftover 1x6s. And so Leroy and I made a door, and we just put it temporarily right here. And that's how we started. And then we moved the door up. And actually, I think we had actually made 2 doors. Maybe we had one on the outside of each stall. So then we moved both doors up, and Jay built these nice heavy duty doors. Let me go through here. We'll go to the upper part. We did not have this concrete when we started. So it's great. If you can get all set up before you start, terrific. But if you can't, and you know, stuff costs a lot of money to get material and all that. So you have to have a certain amount, but you don't have to have everything. And it doesn't have to be huge. We've had a lot of goats have kids, and yeah, it would be nice if we had the lean-tos on, and we do plan to do that. But, you know, you work with what you got. So this is 2-story. We've got a trap door. I've got a loft up there, and this is an old ladder. Jay just cut it off. It wasn't a good ladder. He wouldn't have cut off a good ladder. But here's our kitties. All right, this room is not organized the way it will be once we're milking, which we'll be milking hopefully soon. But I just wanted to show y'all. If I remember right, the barn is, I think it's 20 by 20. I think that's what it is. So we have the 1 milking stand, and then my oldest 2 daughters who do all the milking, they built another one. So they can milk 2 goats at a time. And here is our fence charger. We want to run power and water down to the barn, but as you can see, that hasn't happened yet. So we just have a drop cord going from the well house over there. And we've used that for years. That's not the long-term plan, but again, you know, you just start with what you can do and build on from there. So I will show more once we're actually milking, and I will try to show babies. Hopefully we'll get to see some be born. We cannot wait. It's always fun when the kids come. All right, enjoy your hay, girls. It's just really wet out, so they've got pasture right now and they've got hay, and we do rotate. The reason they're not on a different field this morning is it was sort of wet out, but we might move them across the Logging Road. Right now we're putting them on each field for a week and then moving them to a different field. So let me see if I can get another shot of the outside of the barn here. Hey Claire, come on in, girl. Okay, so this is the outside of the barn from outside the goat field. And you can see that's the poly wire. I think you can see that. And if goats are trained to it, then it works great. That's what we used when I was a kid. We kept all our goats in and separated and all that with the poly wire. We get ours from Premier One Fencing. They have really good quality. And all right, so on this side, we don't even have the loft doors on this side. The other side we do. We still have 2 doors to make. These windows were scrap windows from somewhere. That's why they're small. It's smaller than we would have chosen if we bought windows, but we had free windows, so we weren't gonna buy them. And that door normally stays open unless the weather is super bad. We leave that open. The cats kind of go in and out, which is good. No mice in the barn. Down there is the barn we're building for the cows. That is still a work in progress. So this is where we're gonna put the lean-to that hopefully is gonna happen this spring. We've wanted to do it for years, and before they kid for years, and it has not happened yet. Hopefully it will soon, because this is the side that we've got the permanent fencing for when we wean babies. And so what we have done in the past is this small stall, we have a T-post there, and we just open the door up against the T-post, and we open this gate to it, and it just makes it so that the goats on this side and the permanent side here have that one stall that they can go into. Oh, and I forgot to show you how we do a heat lamp, but once we have babies, I will show you that. But I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of what we've got going on here. Some fields starting to green up, and some goats looking nice and pregnant, and hopefully very soon we will have some babies.